This project forms part of a series of research projects that we're doing with DairyCo as part of a DairyCo research partnership. And this component of the research partnership is focusing specifically on aspects of mineral metabolism. We're currently doing a survey on different dairy farms in the West Midlands, looking at how much minerals are being fed, in what form, and different types that different farmers can feed, whether they have it as boluses or licks or in the feed. And that's a background to look at this project, which is specifically looking at aspects of copper metabolism in dairy cows. And copper is an essential trace element in dairy cow rations. It's used in a variety of different aspects. Farmers will be familiar with copper deficiency with cows with the characteristic spectacles. It can affect a number of other things as well, including fertility. And the issue with copper is not that it's usually too little in the diet, it's the fact that there are things called antagonists, particularly sulfur and molybdenum, that are binding the copper and preventing it from being absorbed or being used within the body. So in this specific project, we're looking at the type of basal ration, whether it is grass silage or maize silage, because previous studies that we've looked at have shown that high maize silage diets, animals appear to metabolize the copper differently to those that are on perhaps a high grass silage diet, and then they're either getting these antagonists or not getting these antagonists. And then we're looking at the copper status, things such as blood samples, which farmers would routinely do. Also looking at the levels within the liver, because copper is stored within the liver, and also looking at aspects relating to cow performance, intake, milk yield, milk composition, cell count, mastitis rate, other factors as well. In doing any study, you only want to change the one thing that you're interested in investigating. So in this study here, we're interested in looking at copper and the basal ration, whether it is maize-based or grass silage-based. And the way that we do that is that the cows here, you can see these electronic feed bins, and the cows wear a transponder around their neck, and only the cows that are allowed into specific bins can get into those individual bins. And within the diets, then we have got copper in some bins and copper plus the antagonists in others. And they are either then based on a grass silage based ration or a maize silage based ration. So everything else in the cow's environment, in terms of her housing, her bedding, how she's milked, where she's milked, all of the components of the diet are exactly the same, except for the components that we're interested in changing. And these bins are also set on top of weigh cells, so not only do they just allow the cows into the bins to get the feeds that we want them to get, but it records when she goes in, how long she's been in for, the weight of the bin when she enters, and the weight of the bin when she leaves. And from that we can calculate the intake then, so then we know which cows are eating more, and then we can link that to things such as milk yield and body condition score and live weight, and also aspects in relation to the blood biochemistry as well. Well, copper is involved in a large variety of different enzymes within the cow's body system, and that can affect a variety of different things, including performance and aspects of immunity, which could be resistance to mastitis, and also aspects of fertility as well. So it covers such a broad range of things, it's difficult to say one specific thing that copper is particularly going to affect, but it is a broad range of different factors. The initial findings that we've done first of all from previous studies would show that often farmers are supplementing or feeding too high a level of copper in the belief that these antagonists might be binding it up, and there have been quite a significant number of cows coming down with copper toxicity. So we've previously established that around about 10 milligrams per kilogram dry matter as a supplement is sufficient. And in this study we're looking at aspects of intake, and as expected the cows on the maize silage based diet seem to be eating more than those on the grass silage based diets, but we also seem to be getting an interaction and an effect of the antagonists on there affecting the animal's intake and performance. So we are now waiting to see what the blood results would be, and waiting to see what the liver results would be to support if there's a difference in terms of the copper metabolism. The benefit to farmers would be knowing firstly what level of copper they need to feed, and secondly if there's an interaction between that and the basal ration. And the idea is to look at farmers feeding the correct amount of minerals, not too little because that can affect animal performance, not too much because that, particularly with copper, can have negative effects in terms of copper toxicity, but also only about 4% or so of the copper that the cow gets is actually absorbed. So the other 96% goes out into the environment. That's got a cost aspect that the farmer's paid for, so they want to be using that efficiently, but it's also potentially got an environmental pollutant aspect as well. So this should help farmers and nutritionists formulate diets that meet the animal's requirements, taking into consideration the background diet, but not over-supplement, which tends to have been what people have done in the past, is just to feed too much.